sending us your video from streaming software to live. I just did that. That's fucking retarded. Really do not like this new setup YouTube has. Really do not like this setup. Are you serious? This is the new setup. This is terrible. The fuck was they thinking? Alright, so y'all gotta forgive me. Hold on, man. Hold on, bro. So that shit gotta go. Hey, Milton, what up, bro? I'm checking out this new YouTube system. They got a whole new system. And I can't even see that shit. Y'all can't see what I'm seeing, but what I'm seeing right now is something very bogus. But it is what it is. What the hell? Go lay down. Jeez. What up, people? I got the suit on, obviously. I didn't want to put the suit on. Trust me, I definitely did not want to put the suit on, but I was not left a choice. So I'm wearing it. Alright, now what? Oh, this is cool. Alright, what do we got? Oh, what y'all been up to? What y'all doing? What's good? Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. Capricorn Moon. Capricorn is devil card. You helped me evolve mentally, my nigga. That's Cap. Capricorns do not evolve. No, this bullshit. Well, I'm glad I can help. It's been hard to do anything sometimes. My mom is Moon and Cap. Your mom got Cap Moon? Ooh, shit. It's the Taurus. Hey, look. It's the Taurus verse season. It's Taurus season, so everybody fucked up right now. Ain't shit. Whatever you trying to do, don't do it. Don't do that shit. You know, real fucked up right now. Earth side, like Capricorn, Virgo fucked up right now. Scorpio kind of fucked up right now. We had that Scorpion full moon a couple weeks ago. Shit was fucking retarded. That's when everything started getting retarded. When we had that Scorpio full moon. And was like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, I cut my hair. Y'all like it? Oh shit. Yes, I cut my. No, I did not cut my hair. I'm bullshit. I did not cut my hair. It's just not braided. I did not cut my hair. Yeah, Scorpio moon got everybody fucked up. Do you think America is headed toward race fascism? You mean headed toward fascism? We've been in fascism. I think Biden. I think Biden is a good president. I got a lot of respect for Biden. Biden is a fucking idiot, but at the same time, for what he's doing and the way this shit was handed to him, I think he's doing a great job. Um, I think, I mean, America is kind of born into fascism. You know what I'm saying? I think that was like Trump. Like Trump was pushing more fascist type shit, even though unintentionally. You know what I'm saying? I think Trump was more fascist, you know, than where we are right now. No, I did not cut my hair. I did not cut my hair. Doing something so that I wasn't torn up. Oh my god, you cut your hair 220 degrees, trying. When you gonna do a show with Mike, the Peace Dealer? I don't think I would do a show. I mean, if you want to interview me, I mean, I would do an interview, but like, I don't really think our content is cohesive like that. But I don't know. I mean, you can pretty much bridge anything. But like, I don't have a problem doing a video with Mike the Peace Deal. You set it up if you set it up. Shit, every end is okay. No, Scotland. Yeah, we got Scotland. You know from Scotland? Scotland. Last name Thomas. Thomas is fucking Scotland. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Native Americans over here are fucking Scottish and shit. And you got a lot of like people in the Midwest of America who like last name Thomas or like Native American mixed with like Native American and Scottish, like redheads and shit. Like Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? They call him Detroit Red. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was African American, you know what I'm saying? But like, a lot of people in this region where I'm at, like Detroit, like Cleveland, like they have the Cleveland Indians, Chicago Blackhawks, Indiana, you know what I'm saying? With like Indian Native American shit. You get a lot of Scottish, like redhead, like this whole Midwest region, a lot of them forgot. I think the Irish are really Scottish, you know what I'm saying, mixed with Native American shit. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what my genealogy is. Parts of it. Yeah, Beast Dealer, he's a Gemini. I used to watch his show, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. He didn't totally evolved into a whole, you know, much larger platform. You know, whereas mine is done the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like I be trying to get the fuck away from I be trying to get the fuck away from a lot of astrology shit, you know what I'm saying? But y'all definitely keep me in tune with it. But yeah, a lot of people treat astrology like it's a religion, man. Like you know what I'm saying? And part of it kind of me was like a religion at one point, so I had to like kind of like, you know, put it in its place. You know, astrology has its place for me, but you know, a lot of the other people I watch on the channel, they be fully immersed in the tarot cards and the astrology and all that shit. I'll be like, man, I don't know if I can. You know, it ain't really my style like that. You know, so, Korean spirit birds, what up, bro? A lot of migration over there in 1700s. Yeah, yep. Look up Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Thomas is Scotland. You know what I'm saying? Y'all my ancestors on part of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Part of. What do you think of Dolo? You remind me of Pisces on Adderall. I fucks with Dolo. You know what I'm saying? I did a video back in the day, responding to one of his videos. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of respect for Dolo, man. Like, you know, I love his channel. I love his content. You know, I think he's great. I think he's literally the greatest, or one of the. I mean, not necessarily. I can take the absolute greatest, but he is definitely one of the greatest minds I've ever seen to, you know, break down uh, planets and, you know, how that affects us, and just not even just the planets, but also different aspects of spirituality. He was one of the first people that walked me through like learning the planets and shit like that, and also learning the elements too. Like I learned that shit from Dolo, like the elements. You know what I'm saying? Not I didn't learn. I don't want to say learn because I knew what the elements was, but like his interpretation, the way he broke shit down. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was first learning the elements. You know what I'm saying? I still use a lot of his references to this day, and I give him his you know, I give him his what you call that shit, not props, but you know, like I tell people, I mean, man, go to those. Like the way he explained a lot of the elements is the same way I use and the way I go about explaining it, because like it's in hood terms. You know what I'm saying? And Dolo like in the hood. You know what I'm saying? That I'm in the hood, so like his interpretations resonate with me better than like some fucking white girl in fucking I don't know Wyoming somewhere, Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Like you know the shit he said, I was seeing what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? More so than what you know they were saying. So you know, but as time went on, you know what I'm saying, his channel started to like he went international. You know what I'm saying? Like he's more of an international figure now. So like his information is more reaches a more you know worldly um, group of people now. So, you know what I'm saying? Even though he's still hood as hell, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just his message has surpassed way more than where I was at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like he gone, man. That dude, he a star. You know what I'm saying? Like he's literally an interdimensional being. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of respect for him. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of respect for him to just, you know what I'm saying, be consistent like that, consistently putting out that much information. I don't think I've ever seen nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you know, his information is different from mine too, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Where it's leading to. You know what I'm saying? My information is leading to a different place. You know what I'm saying? Than where his information is leading to. You know what I'm saying? But in the totality of things, I think it's still something that, you know, I think it's something that people definitely should, you know, go into his chamber and follow his work. You know what I'm saying? He's brilliant. Just saying me, um, I've been studying recently, believe it or not, the old dude. And mind you, I shouldn't even be telling y'all this shit. Cause like, this is shit y'all you probably should not study for all practical purposes. But like, I've been studying the old dude, which is like the E5 religion, you know what I'm saying? And the 16 old dudes, you know what I'm saying? And like, some of that stuff leading to voodoo and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And that's like, you know, I study it because I'm not practicing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not practicing these things. I'm studying it as a reference point for something else. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of times, people be studying all these different aspects of spirituality, they end up doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they get lost in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm Aquarius. Like, it be some shit I look through and get the reference points and use it. You know what I'm saying? Toward, you know, me proving a point in contrast, like, you know what I'm saying, to something totally different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm only using that in contrast to what I'm saying. You know, so I'm not, you know, indulging in it to learn it so I can start doing fucking spiritual readings and shit. And a lot of the people that I was meeting, you know what I'm saying, I had to explain that to them. I was like, yo, I'm not trying to be a fucking Yoruba priest. I'm trying to just learn, you know, the virtues and stuff like that, you know. And a lot of the things that they teach me, because you start to see, man, like you be a lot of the situations, men find themselves in be voodoo already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of motherfuckers, man, fuck around, you be doing motherfuckers be doing voodoo shit, don't even know it already, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to be careful with the decisions you make. A lot of stuff in the Bible, and not just in the Bible, in Islam, in the Quran, and just all type of spiritual systems. A lot of that shit is um, designed to protect you from what you find in Odu and Ifa. Like when you go into that, you see the root core. Like you be like, yo, at the root of this shit is voodoo. You know what I'm saying? Like you fucking with voodoo. You know what I'm saying? And like if you don't have some type of spiritual system, it don't matter what the fuck. Like when you go to E5, you start to see, Joe, you gonna need some type of spiritual system. Like because this is what is literally like the, how do you say this, man? It's like the keys of the planet. It's like there's a, like, you know, they say it's like a boom, boom, like a heartbeat, boom, boom. Like the earth has a heartbeat. There's also a rhythm, like a piano sequence. It's like 16 keys on the keyboard with the black keys and everything. It's like, you know, I'm still studying it, so my references might still be kind of rough, but there's a symphony going on in the hearts and minds of people, and there's like a beat to it. You know what I'm saying? And it like a lot of the things you be dealing with astrology and you dealing with, you know, the rotation and the rotation of the planets and the, what's the word, man? The evolving of the, like as they evolve. You know, people miss the beat. There's a beat to this. These things aren't just there's like a there's like a sequence, and then there's a beat. Like when you hear a heartbeat, boom, boom, you can either hear a beat, but sometimes some people hear a rhythm, boom, boom. And like a lot of times, what Odu and Ifa do, it go into the binary aspects of the rhythm. It's like a 1-2 sequence, binary, back and forth. You know, like when you watching tennis or you watching like a certain, you watch anything, you know, and like there's a back and forth. Either you just see a back and forth or you see like a rhythm. You know what I'm saying? And like they teach you to see the rhythm, and it like um and the laws of the rhythm. Like this is why this shit is doing this, and you know this is how it swings. And it's like a song, you know, and like like it's 16 old dudes. Just like in an average song, they got 16 bars, 16 bars in the song. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just certain songs like stanzas and fucking. There's different types of songs that have parts to them. Like you have the first four parts, which leads to the next four, which leads to the next four, which leads to the next four. So you build a Fibonacci sequence, and the way that the Fibonacci sequence builds a rhythm in the song, there's a certain number. There's one, one, two. There's two, three, three, five, five, eight. If you follow the Fibonacci sequence, like to the average person, it's not gonna just spit random numbers. But certainly, if you write music, you can see like some people write music can see the rhythm. There's a reason like some people can't read music because what those symbols are is like it's like almost like Odu. It's telling you this is where the dynamic is shifting here, and there's like gods that control these dynamics and make the song shift for certain reasons. And once you understand those reasons why the song is shifting, you see people going through these patterns, and these patterns fall into all type of other spiritual systems, whether they're astrology, Kabbalah, fucking chakras, even just common sense virtues. You see it. This is what people are trying to get a hold of more than anything. Like even in the Bible, it say the kingdom. So since the beginning of the time, men have used violence to try to get access to the kingdom because for some shit that they understand, like people fighting, you know, like the will of these spiritual systems. People going against it, trying to control it. Man, I want this. I want $1 million. I want a wife. I want this. I want, you know what I'm saying? And like it's like, you know, like a genie. You know, like, a lot of times people treat the universe like it's some type of genie or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that like, that ain't how this shit work. Like you fucking with voodoo. Like when you don't have the right spiritual systems in place and you be running around trying to get money, trying to get a house and wife, and it's like you fucking with voodoo when you don't, you know what I'm saying? When you don't have nothing in there. You out on your own, doing this shit on your own without understanding the laws, without understanding the rhythm of how things work. You know what I'm saying? Your base system is voodoo. Trust this. And it's like your song gonna be fucked. It's gonna be a fucked up song. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you die, they were like, okay, what song was this? They were like, no, this is a song. This is a very rough song. Versus somebody who actually learned how to read and write music. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a much better song. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like how Odu works. So like you got certain aspects, and mind you, all this shit tie into other systems, especially when you're dealing with like men and women at the root. Like you know what I'm saying? A lot of men in the way that they treat women, and a lot of women in the way that they treat men. Like when you got hidden agendas and shit like that, when you're dealing with seduction and unseen chemistry between two opposite polarities and the opposite, you know, masculine and feminine principles and the dynamics, unseen dynamics in between them. Motherfuckers think they slick. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the man thinking he's smarter than the woman thinking that she's smarter than the man. It's all unseen energy and chemistry in between. So this is a perfect scenario for sparks to set off when motherfuckers don't understand that it's like it's two different songs. It's like listening to two different songs at the same time. So, you know, typically like let me give y'all a small little verse. Like they got what is it? Odu I would say Odu Meji. I think it's Odu Meji. Or it might be Aro Sun Meji. I think Aro Sun Meji is relationship and home. But I think Odu Meji, I think it's number 3 or number 4. Mind you, like I said, I'm still learning this, so forgive me. But it's basically like in the dealing aspect of seal. I think it's 3. I believe this is Odu Meji. I could be wrong, but I think it's the 3rd or maybe the 4th verse of the Odus. And then like it's basically what you need to know is it's like people who seal shit and unseal shit. Like it's the ruthless shit. I was like, that shit crazy. Like you got 2 types of people. You got people who seal and unseal in the aspect of with purpose, and then like you have people with purpose, and you have people who don't have no purpose. I'm totally explaining this wrong, but the point, the principle, and the spirit of what I'm saying is what I'm hoping that you get. And that, so you got, like you say, okay, give me 5 people in your life. Give me the 5 most important people in your life. So you're like, okay, that's not your family. You know what I'm saying? Like people who you sought out to have relationships with. So I'm saying, like, oh, you know, my friend so and so. And you know, I got this other friend, so and so, we do this. And I got this friend, so okay, what do you do with these people? So I'm saying, you're like, oh well, you know, this my Yeah, we hang out, we kick it, we go drink it, we smoke, whatever, da da da. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so there's no actual purpose there per se. Like, well, yeah, we kick it, we have friends, right? But did you specifically seek this person out for a specific purpose that to fulfill a certain aspect in your life that was missing, and this person is helping you fulfill that aspect in your life, other than just typical friendship and emotion stuff like that? Most people say, nah, amen. So you got two different types. I think this is oral soulmates. They say there's two different types of people. People who seek out friendships specifically for no purpose, and you got the type of people who seek out friendships specifically for a purpose. And they're like, okay, like you got type of people that say, okay, like say I'm trying to put on weight or like lift weights, or I'm learning to cook, or I might be learning how to do gardening, or I might be learning how to do social work, shit like that. You know, so I gotta go seek out somebody who know this type of shit and teach me this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some people have a whole list of people in their Rolodex of them type of people. They're like, oh well, this person teaches me, yoga. We do yoga on Mondays. This person I do Bible study with on this day. This person teaches me finance. We gonna meet up on this day. This person teaches me, I don't know, sports. We gonna play basketball on this shit. Like every person in their whole Rolodex is a specific reason why that person is in it. You got these type of people, and you got the total opposite people who literally do the total opposite. They have no purpose. Like literally, all these people in their life are literally there for no purpose. On purpose, they make a conscious decision. They're like, we're not gonna do nothing wrong. We just hanging out. We just chilling. Like we don't want to form. Like they literally make a conscious decision not to have a purpose with this person. Like you see what I'm saying? And they live. Like, I don't know if I'm skipping it. I hope y'all hear me. Certain people literally, like I say, seek out people for light, casual, no purpose types of conversation. You know what I'm saying? So when you got the latter person, who is the person who basically seeks out these type of relationships who don't really have much purpose in the life, these type of people, you know what I'm saying, in a certain regard could be known as what they call I think it's oral semantics, they call like unsealed. Like you got people who seal shit and you got people who unseal shit. So like people who seal shit typically hang out with people who purpose. People who unseal shit hang out with people who don't have no purpose. So like if you're a sealer, you don't want to be hanging out with somebody who unseals shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, if I take a job, we're gonna put this in the job, we're gonna seal it, it's closed. That's it, it's closed. Then you got somebody who will come along and open this shit up and unseal it and let it back out. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of situations we dealing with men and women dynamics, it be that shit going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? One person seals some shit, then the other person come along and unseal it. You know what I'm saying? And then like somebody else seal it again and then unseal it. So you'll get that dynamic going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So like I use them like Larsa Pippen, like Scottie Pippen wife. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people look at her like she trifling. You know what I'm saying? Like she fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But you can't look at it like that. Like you look at it now, she unseal it. You know what I'm saying? Like Scottie Pippen, somebody like you look at a situation like he might seal and then she unseal. So like she doing her purpose. Like you know what I'm saying? It's wrong for somebody. He's wrong for getting with unsealing. That's how they look at it. Like same reason. Like even if you look in the Bible, they be like, okay, it was Adam's fault that Eve ate the apple. They're like, how the fuck is Adam's fault? Adam wasn't even around. You know what I'm saying? She brought this shit to him. Like yeah, but Adam was the leader in a situation like that. He was the sealer. Eve was the unsealer. You see what I'm saying? So like he was wrong for, you see what I'm saying, being in a situation with an unsealer. You see what I'm saying? In that, like, he should have taught her better to be a sealer more so than an unsealer. You see what I'm saying? So you got shit like this. You know what I'm saying? And then how that leads into dynamics of all of like those are that's just two very small aspects of like, you know what I'm talking about, old doing shit. Like, but that shit leads to other shit, you know what I'm saying, when you dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Like that's outside of all like spirituality, astrology. All you see how the signs or like other spiritual systems play into that shit. You see what I'm saying? You be like, damn, like at the root of it, you got motherfucking sealers and you got unsealers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. You ask yourself which one of you got people who hang out with people with purpose and people who hang out with no purpose. Which one is you? You know what I'm saying? So you start to, you think about these things, and it just gave the other systems I was studying a lot more purpose in regards to who you are when you have nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? At your root, when you totally unaware, this is who you are when you're unaware. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the way the situations play out when you're unaware. This is literally what that shit is. And you see the drama. Like, when I think the story for, was it Old Shoemaker or Old Man? The story was talking about sealing and unsealing. So the wife and a husband they were married to two different people. Like there's a wife married to her husband, there's a husband married to his wife. They were both cheating on each other with each other. You know what I'm saying? So there was two people having sex with each other that was married to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And they decided that they was gonna go run off and run off and be in love with each other. But they had families already, so they had to lie to their families, you know what I'm saying, make their families think that they was gonna be dead. They came up with this plan, like, we're gonna make our families think I dead and we're gonna run off to Egypt, you know what I'm saying, and be in love with each other. You know what I'm saying? So this is at a time when they didn't bury people. They put you up on a hill, and like they believed back then that the birds would come and eat you and take you up into the sky. You know what I'm saying? And take your soul into the sky. This is what they believe. This before they bury people under the ground. So the wife and the husband, they drank something like Romeo and Juliet. You know what I'm saying? Put them in a very deep sleep, make them look like they was dead. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody thought they was dead. So mind you, she had kids and a family, husband, all that. So they went and put her out on the hill. They had the whole funeral service. You know what I'm saying? And they left out on the hill and they left. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing. The husband had the same thing. He had kids, all this stuff. You know, they had a funeral service, put them on the hill and left. You know what I'm saying? So quite naturally at night, they assumed that the birds came and ate them and took them up in heaven. So when they came out the next day, you know what I'm saying, they was gone. You know, so fast forward a couple years later, her son, the wife's son, is in Egypt, walking around in the marketplace, look up and see his mom. He's like, yo, that's my mom. You know what I'm saying? And he sees her with her new husband and new family. He's like, that's my mom. She got a whole new family. What is this? You know, and people saw it. They thought it was crazy. You know, and back then, that's how the laws work. They stoned him to death. You know what I'm saying? She got stoned to death for that. You know what I'm saying? For cheating. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, that's when they started burying people under the ground. You know what I'm saying? They're like, okay, like we thought she was dead, but she wasn't. So we gonna actually seal this shit. Like now, if you leave something unsealed, you know what I'm saying? Somebody come along and unseal it. So when you fuck with something, make sure you seal it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't never want to do nothing half sealed. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do, you want to be wholly, fully sealed. You see what I'm saying? So that's a story that you get from that. You know what I'm saying? And you got people who seal shit and people who unseal shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hope that makes sense. That transfers into a whole bunch of other shit too. I would love to talk to y'all. I'm not gonna talk about, but I'm talking about finance and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of shit translates over into finance, not just principles and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like um, uh, finance. You know what I'm saying? This is financial slash fun today. They change it, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. Chakra is better than Jesus. Chakra is not better than Jesus. Why do you know about this? What do you know about human design? Human design, what do you mean? Like, are you talking about that shit that Leonardo da Vinci had with the man with the 5-point star, that thing? I don't know what you mean, human design. How do you figure out your purpose? Figure out your purpose. Purpose is K-Blao. K-Blao. That's my name, Blau. You know what I'm saying? K-Blao is purpose. How do you figure out your purpose? Purpose is it's a dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Man, I don't know if I'm skipping. If I start skipping, y'all please let me know. You know what I'm saying? Please let me know. But purpose, like mind, it's a good segue. You're talking about purpose. Good segue. You know what I was talking about just a second ago in regards to finance. Finance. Um, Finance starts with the word fin. Fin as in finish. Finance and finish, or fin, like you ever see the end of a movie says fin. You know what I'm saying? Fin means the end in French. I think it's French. You know what I'm saying? It's fin is the end. You know what I'm saying? So finance, we talking about finance. Finance is literally that. It's like finance is your ability to see into the future and see the end. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like where you stand in all of this. You know what I'm saying? So finance is like the one big thing you're doing with finance is called equity. You know what I'm saying? So when people don't understand equity, equity is the key word of what I'm bringing to, from finance to equity. And then equity in the Bible, I think it's Proverbs 9:8. You know what I'm saying? It says God, Jehovah, judges all things with equity. So I'm saying, you're like, what the fuck does that mean? So like that type of equity is a different type of equity, finance equity. You know what I'm saying? That equity is word called Meshar, Meyshar. S-H-A-R. Mayshar. M-E-Y-S-H-A-R. You might want to look that word up. It means like fairness or like, mine is equity, you know what I'm saying? But Mayshar is the Hebrew word for equity. You know what I'm saying? So equity in Hebrew, Mayshar basically means like the ability to judge situations with fairness or level-headedness or like calmness. You see what I'm saying? So what the fuck does this have to do with anything? Just follow the thought. You see what I'm saying? So you're talking about equity in finance and equity biblical. So I'm saying it's two different things. So I'm saying so typically they say the opposite of in judgment sense, the opposite of equity is equality, meaning that like judge everything the same. Every situation you judge it the same. So I'm saying so like you go to court, somebody got a ticket, this person got a ticket, this is the first time this person got a ticket, it's the 10th time this person got a ticket. So I'm saying so equity would mean that you judge the situation based on the circumstances that the way it's presented to you instead of judging it equally. So I'm saying so if you want to judge it equally, you say okay. I'm gonna give both of y'all a $200 fine, first person and the 10th person. So I'm saying that's equal judgment. Versus equity judgment, you say, okay, well, it's the first person, I'm just gonna give him a warning, but the 10th person, you got to get the fine because this is the 10th time you've been here, so you got more of a chance that you're gonna do this shit again. So I'm saying, so that's equity. You're judging their equity per se, and that like their you're judging with equity, but you're judging also their equity. And that we was talking about fiction, and that there's a thing called legal fiction. Legal fiction. You got like in the same concept of fiction and non-fiction. You gotta ask, okay, is law fiction? And that fiction is some shit that don't exist. It's like some shit that it's like where is the law? It's like it's a principle. Like so, is it real per se? Is it fiction or is it non-fiction? Okay, well, the people who committed those crimes, who actually go put them fucking shoes on. So I'm saying they have equity in the law. Like you know what I'm saying, like law has equity. You know what I'm saying, and it like all fiction needs to be framed according to the law, not necessarily toward your own perspective. So I'm saying, so like you gotta look at all this shit as fiction. So I'm saying the only thing real basically is you. So I'm saying, so like even the flow you sitting on is fiction. You see what I'm saying? The world you live in is fiction. You see what I'm saying? So when you talk about law, fiction is framed according to the law. You see what I'm saying? So you're not fiction per se. You see what I'm saying? The actions that you're doing are not quote unquote fiction or non-fiction. What you're doing is called equity. So I'm saying, so the formula for finance and equity, you say is like assets and liabilities. So I'm saying, so you got assets minus liabilities. No. Right, assets minus liabilities equals equity. That's literally the formula for equity. It's assets, you got liabilities, equity. So equity is somewhere in between the dynamic of assets and liabilities. You're talking about finance now. So I'm saying, so liability and assets is the contrast of your equity. You see what I'm saying? So you look at what are your assets, like I'll go back to what I was saying before, the people you hang around, you see what I'm saying, the way you think, you know what I'm saying, your equity in relation to the things we talk about. You're talking about finding a purpose. You see what I'm saying? So look at your equity. So I'm saying your equity kind of shows you your purpose. And that like, you know, the shit that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was a judge judging you, I have to take your equity into consideration before I can pass a judgment. You see what I'm saying? So if you look behind you and you say, okay, well, everybody around me ain't got no purpose. I'm seeking out people who literally have no purpose. You see what I'm saying? Then more than likely you ain't gonna have no purpose. You see what I'm saying? If you go back to what they're talking about, law of attraction, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna attract what your purpose is. Like you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be looking out into the world and you're gonna see what's missing, you're gonna see where you fit in, and you're gonna attract, you know what I'm saying, your purpose is you should be attracted to that, and it should draw forth from you. You see what I'm saying? If you have that perception and you have that equity in that. Now you gotta understand too, like equity in regards to like equity is also equip. Like you think about equip. You see what I'm saying? So equip and equality and equity, all these things is key words in that you come equipped. You come with equity, whether you choose to take it or not. Like you know what I'm saying? You have equity in where you live. You know what I'm saying? You have equity based on where you're born. You got equity based on your parents and your family. You know what I'm saying? You got equity in the relationships that you're in. You have equity in your finance and your job and shit like this. Like whether you choose to accept your equity or not, you have equity. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of shit go back to when you talking about the finance and like when you dealing with value. A perfect example, talking about equity. The reason you use numbers, like you look at numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what I'm saying? That shit was made specifically for what we talking about equity. Like you can't get equity without 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, they used to use Roman numerals. Like you used to have like I. Like they still use Super Bowl. You see Super Bowl, they say XXX. Like Super Bowl 30, they put XXX. You know what I'm saying? Or they put, I think number 5 was V. Or like number 1 was I, but you had 3, it'd be I. And you wanted 4, it'd be like I. And you wanted 5, it was like V. And then one of them was L. I think it was like 100 or some shit like that. And one of them was C. And then like one of them was V. One of them was M. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are Roman numerals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, people understand what this shit is, but people do not understand, like, okay, hold on, when the fuck did we switch from Roman numerals over to what we have now? It's like Hindu Arabic numerals. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different set of numerals. You know what I'm saying? Now, you try to multiply right now in fucking Roman numerals, you be stuck. You be like, well, hold on, what the fuck? Like, how do you multiply Roman? Like, right, MXVB times IIIVL equals what? You be like, man, what the fuck? You can't, your mind you, these are numbers, your mind can't even process that shit. So I'm saying what the other numerals do, so I'm saying these have more meaning in regards to, you talking about like irregular, irrational numbers, formulas. Like, think about what I'm saying. Like me sitting there talking, somebody sitting there scratching their head, like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then like I'm literally sitting here talking in fucking like equations. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we call it like irregular math. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you taking these fucking formulas and symbols and shit like this, not knowing that like this is you. This is you. So I'm saying those numbers can give you more accurate understanding toward what is we dealing with. And then like you can take the number 1 and then fit a whole infinite amount of numbers inside number 1. You know what I'm saying? And then like you got decimal place. Like back in like Roman numerals, you can't do that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got a dollar, you got 1.00. They're like, okay, what the fuck is the 0.00? Like, well, you got 1, but you can fit a whole 99 set of digits inside this 1. You know what the fuck? Right. So like say you got 1, but you got -1. You know what I'm saying? Or you got like 1.5, 1.53456, 1.2396. Like you can fit a whole nother infinite amount of numbers behind this one thing. You can't do that with Roman numerals. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you more access to insight toward possibilities that normally you wouldn't have access to these types of possibilities. You know what I'm saying? When you understand what these digits is and what is actually here for. You know what I'm saying? So like I do purposely like they create scenarios like Bitcoin, stock market, shit like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like Bitcoin got a new set of currency out. You know what I'm saying? It's all type of new currency. You know what I'm saying? They have certain sets of currency that is this is all fiction. This is all fiction. You have to understand all this shit is fiction. And you have to approach it like it's fiction. So you mastering a certain set of fiction. You know what I'm saying? With these terms. So you're talking about Bitcoin. But that is Bitcoin, but also like stocks and shit like this. And then like you have certain stocks, and I'm gonna focus on Bitcoin because I'm talking about that. Like you have certain Bitcoins that's less than a penny. Like there's certain stocks and Bitcoins you can buy that's like you go on there, it'd be like 0.000000001. You know what I'm saying? You be like, hold on, how can you buy some shit that's less than a penny? You know what I'm saying? And then for 1 penny, you can get like 10,000. For 1 penny, you'll get like 10,000 shares of a company or some shit like this. Like, you see what I'm saying? They're like, okay, well, how, like back in the day with Roman numerals, you couldn't do this type of shit. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, we're going to use 10,000 shares of this company less than a penny. You know, and as time goes on, you know what I'm saying? Every one of those, even if that shit becomes a penny, if that shit moves from 0.0, what is it, 5 zeros and then a 1, you know what I'm saying? If that shit moves to 1 cent, you done made like fucking $10,000 for stupid shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Off of fucking like a penny, $1 investment, some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because them decimals move woke. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's time to woke. So, you know, when it's potential. Mind you, like, you gonna look at Bitcoin, like, you download Bitcoin app, it's fucking millions of Bitcoins, and you same shit stock market, there's millions of companies, people who done forged their identity on purpose into like these types of situations where people come and invest in them, you know what I'm saying, and basically multiply it themselves. You know what I'm saying? You say multiply yourself, what does that mean? Well, you talk, okay, money, finance, choice, purpose, things like this. Animals, you talk about animals, like certain animals who understand prostitution. You know what I'm saying? So you got like squirrels who fucking, like you got certain squirrels who run around, go get all the nuts and go hide them in the stash. And so all the females run around looking for nuts, can't find them. And he's showing, like, I got all this nuts, but you got to stay here with me. You got to have sex with me. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get access to the food. You know what I'm saying? There's certain squirrels who know this. Certain animals who already know this shit. Like, so there's certain penguins who will go, you know what I'm saying, stack all the fish away and hide all the fish. You know what I'm saying? And like, if the women wanna you know what I'm saying, get fish, they gotta come through him. You know what I'm saying? So like he's multiplying himself. Like in a certain mind, this is a whole these talking about value, the whole system of value and money, all this shit evolved from situations like this, which is sex and women. And then like back in the day, if you want to get married, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the shit. Like you had to trade the value. Like the woman had the value, so you had to give up some goats or some fucking, I don't know, some sheep or some vegetables or some type of shit. Like you had to exchange. Like the father and the son and the families had to exchange something in regards to the woman because like she had the value. So this is all before money and all that shit had happened. Like this is the same aspect when we talking about with animals and they're like motherfuckers would stack shit. You know what I'm saying? And use that as leverage toward future situations. Finance. You know, the motherfuckers who have the ability to see into the future and see the end result. You know what I'm saying? In the gate. So the ability to practice these things. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, is purpose. You know, and understanding the mind. I said this is all fiction. So the mastery of this comes from the ability to see this is all fiction and where you stand in it. You know, which is what's gonna bring forth your purpose. I hope that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. But on that note, I get the fuck out of here. Actually, I was just trying to test this shit out to see. I didn't even think I was gonna sit down and talk this long. But you know what I'm saying? I actually was just testing this out. But yeah, I'm gonna put out more videos because this is a whole new setup for me. I was just trying to master this. You know what I'm saying? Today, so I can put out more content. So but yeah, I'm gonna put out more content soon too. And mind you, I still ain't showed y'all the other spot. I got the other spot still coming. We still working real hard on that. You know what I'm saying? It's coming soon. But I gotta get out of here. But yeah, I'm hopefully gonna put out more content soon. Now I got all this set up. So I appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna get out of here. You dig.